Well, hello, 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 everybody. You are looking at season 4 of the Purpose Conversation. I am Juva Alexander, your host of this so amazing live podcast. And I have missed you guys. Oh my goodness. And it's been a minute. If I am not mistaken, the last time you saw this face and this smile was back in October when I had all of my beautiful, amazing Pink Sisters on because as we were navigating the space of breast cancer awareness month, I had all of my Pink Sisters on and we were talking to you. So you see another group of sisters. This time it's not my Pink Sisters, but what you're seeing are a group of life coaches. Now, of course, when I say life coach, I automatically think of a coach in general. I happen to know quite a bit about coaches. I have a husband who is a coach, a football coach. He has been coaching, and y'all know I'm always talking about my young athlete. But he has been coaching my son since he was like 5 years old. He is 16 now. He's no longer his coach, but he's still a coach of coaching middle school football. So I am all too familiar about coaches, what it is that they do. They pour into people, they motivate people, they give them that push and that drive that they need to succeed. And they're always, even though you have some coaches said, "Oh, it's not about winning or losing." Every coach wants to win, and every coach wants to see their player win, and every
Absolutely.
life coach wants to see their client win. So that is why I have brought in some life coaches because I'm an advocate for pushing. I'm an advocate for pushing purpose, of course, but I'm an advocate for pushing others into what it is that God has strategically called them to do. And I believe in life coaching. I believe that we should connect to a specific life coach to cover almost every area of our lives if we need to. And so, if you will look here, you will see somebody that looks very familiar here. Right here, you see Felicia Michelle Streeter. Felicia was actually on. Felicia, were you on season 1 or season 2 of the Purpose Conversation? Do you remember?
It's been so long ago, but I believe it was season 2.
Believe it was season 2. It may have been, yeah, but yeah. So Felicia was on, and Felicia, I'm gonna let her tell you what it is that what she does. But basically, we're gonna just kind of cover different areas that are important to me. If they are important to me, then I know they're important to my purpose conversation friends, my purpose friends. So we're gonna go ahead and get started here. As I said, right now, this evening, we're going to cover 3 different areas. We're going to cover mental health space. We're going to cover spiritual health space, and we're also going to cover the financial health space because all 3 are important to me. And also, I'm going to cover a little bit of health and well-being only because you guys know of the journey that I was on. And so yeah, so why don't we go ahead and get it started? So, what we're going to do, I'm going to go around the table here. We're going to start with Wanda. We're going to go down to Felicia. Then we're going to end here with Heather. And what I want you to do is to share with my purpose friends. I want you to share your name, share what it is that you do, and share what does purpose look like to you. And we'll start with you, Wanda. Wanda, are you able to hear us?
Is it on mute? Wanda?
Wanda may be on mute. Are you muted, Wanda? Oh, you can hear us in the headphones, but we're unable to hear you. While you go ahead and see if you're able to get unmuted, let me see. One second here. Let's go down to Felicia and then we'll come back up to you, Wanda.
Yeah, maybe we should hit her up in the chat. Can everybody hear me?
We can hear
I
you.
can
Hey,
hear you,
girl.
Felicia.
Oh my God, my sister Juva. There's just so much to say about her, but I don't want to take up the whole podcast. So let's get it moving. Ah, she is so phenomenal. My name is Felicia Michelle Streeter. I'll say my middle name because it's important to me. I am an author, a motivational speaker, and a certified life coach with the focus on mental health. The reason why I chose that focus is because mental health is so important to me. It is really extreme in this day and age. And after a very horrible battle with anxiety, I felt like it was my purpose to share my story and to help people overcome anxiety along with some other life barriers, some barriers that keep us from being our best self. So after going through that anxiety, it was a horrible experience. It was all for a purpose. And the purpose was for me to be able to help other people, along with being able to help people cope with life. So I am more than a mentor LLC, and let's do this. What's up, Juva?
What's up? What's up? And next we have Heather. If you will go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us who you are, and tell us what does purpose look like to you.
Okay. So I am Heather Nicole Webb, also known as Coach Heather Nicole. I am a spiritual and a relationship coach. I mean, this is something that standing literally in front of the sink, kitchen sink, washing dishes, and I heard the Lord clearly say, "I want you to become a life coach." Life coach, because I have been asking, what is my purpose? What do you want me to do? Because it will be so many people that like gravitate towards me, or they call me, they share their secrets. I'm like the go-to person. So I said, it's something with this. So when I heard him say, you are a life coach, I want you to be a life coach. So my area of focus is spiritual and relationship coaching. My business is called Transparent Consulting. So I help people, discover what their purpose is. I help people with self discovery, with their spiritual journeys, etc. How to communicate, whether it's through friendships, relationships, business ships, whatever it may be. But overall, what does purpose look like to me? So purpose to me, it's a covenant.
Mm,
It's when you come into an agreement with God as an act of obedience to fulfill your assignment. It's what we are called to do on earth. And purpose is that thing that gives us life. It gives life actually more meaning. So that's what purpose looks like to me.
I absolutely love that. Love your definition. Love your definitions of purpose and what it looks like for you in this space. Um, Hopefully, we will be able to get Wanda back on here. I see that she may have had some technical issues, but until then, we'll just kind of keep rolling. And if we need to have Wanda in at another date in time, absolutely, because financial health is absolutely important. um I love the fact that you ladies cover two of the things, like I said, that are really near and dear to me: mental health, definitely spiritual health. And I also want to add on health and wellness, only because that is important to me as well. And you know what? actually all three of those things, or actually all four, to even include your health, because your financial health, so your mental, your spiritual, your financial, and your physical, all of it kind of connects, and it all serves us in some sort of way, and it serves a very specific purpose. So um I'm always trying to take a look and see, make sure that those areas are sharp and those areas are, kind of stay
Mm.
intact. So with that being said, there are a couple of questions that I just kind of want to kind of throw around, and we can kind of go from there. uh, I'm going to start here with, let's say, mental health. Felicia, can you tell me, what are some of the most common mental barriers you see that seem to be holding people back, and how do you help them to overcome that? And the reason why I ask that is because we are at an age or a stage in life where people are becoming more aware that they need to take care of their mental health. You know what I mean?
I
And
know.
so, if you would, though, but we also have some people that are don't believe in any type of life coaching and any type of mental health or anything like that. So, if you would, if you would share, what are some of the most common mental barriers you see that seem to be holding people back, and how do you help them to overcome those?
There are over 200 mental barriers, mental illnesses, mental disorders. Let me first say that mental illness is something that you have from birth. Mental disorders, and people think they are one and the same, but they are not. Mental disorders is something that's created while you're living, while you're going into your teen and adulthoods. And
Mm,
what can spark those disorders are so many things: environmental, trauma, uh, once the chemicals in your brain become imbalanced, that causes a mental disorder. So, mental illness starts from birth, something you just born with
Mm.
that you cannot help. A disorder is something that's
mm,
created over time. So, again, there's over 200 of them, but I think what's most important is behavior and emotional. And the
mm,
reason these are so important, and you can tell just by looking at the youth, their behavior is out of control, and they do not know have any control over their emotions, so they react. And
mm,
if you know people, reacting off emotions always has a bad turnout, no matter what area of life you're speaking from. Reacting from emotions is always bad, unless of course it's love. We know that's the greatest emotion, the best emotion, but even that can turn sour. So for me, with behavior and emotional, I try to get people, my clients and people who I work with, especially the youth, to just be self aware. To be
mm,
aware is to be alive. I'm telling you, once you know who you are and able to admit who you are and the areas where you need work, whether it's your emotions, your behavior, it's a lot of delusional people in this world, which is also another disorder. We think we're a certain way, or we think we're these great people when, honey, we need so much work. Even me myself had to be self-aware and just understand that, you know, we try to become the best people that we can become. We always need work. There's always an area that can be worked on, tightened up. So for me, again, to answer your question, definitely behavior and emotional.
thank you for that. And Felicia, thank you too for explaining the difference that there is between a disorder. I really appreciate it because I never really thought about it, but
Me
it makes
either. Yeah,
perfect sense.
it does.
There are certain people that I know of, they weren't necessarily born with something just kind of off. but they've had different things that happen in their lives, whether it was a substance
Mhm.
problem, or something traumatic, something that happened to them, and it caused them to basically just kind of lose it. So that makes perfect sense. And you know what, it is usually people that are adolescents or young adults that we see this even happen to. So I thank you for sharing just the difference there, because I didn't even I guess I didn't think about it, and it makes perfect sense. And for you to be able to say, or to connect that behavior and emotions, that's something that you connect with, and that you help people to navigate that space. I really appreciate that. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Heather, because you are the spiritual coach, Coach Heather, there is one thing that I want to ask you as it relates, because I know that, spiritually speaking, we're definitely called to people, to help them to determine exactly what it is that their purpose to do, what is the purpose of this particular thing that's in their life that they're going through at the moment. And my question for you is, how do you how do you or what, I guess, what practices have you found that have been most effective in helping people to connect or to reconnect with their sense of purpose? Just that purpose person that has fallen off there for a moment. They feel as if, God, what about me? What's going on? And I think we've all been in that space. How do you
Yeah.
help them to actually just kind of reconnect to their sense of purpose?
Okay, so first, thank you for Felicia for defining those two things as well. I thank you for that because that was very important. And just to answer your question, well, it's imperative that we either like build or rebuild a relationship with God. And in order to do that, you must communicate with Him.
Mm-hmm.
We need to worship, we need to meditate. Those are some things, that can uh those are some practices. When you worship, when you meditate, when you communicate, it opens your spirit up to hear God.
Mm-hmm.
He will definitely talk back. He will tell you what to do. He will give you clear and concise instructions if you just do some of those things. When we stop listening to what's up here in our mind, what's going on, like those delusional things, those childhood traumas, things that we've gone through in the past, we have
Mm-hmm.
to stop allowing this to take control because our mind is a battlefield.
Mm,
Number one,
mm.
we can our mind. That's why we can't. It says, I believe it says something about like a idle mind as well. Is a devil's playground. He
Yeah.
loves to play with the mind. Okay, so that's him. Number one, the enemy that does that. So we have to. It's very important that we have to keep a relationship with God. Either you gonna build a relationship with Him, and if you walked away, how to reconnect? It's time for you to rebuild that relationship. Also, what I encourage people to do as a practice is journaling.
Mm.
So
Okay.
when you journal, okay, you find things out about yourself. So if you write something
Yeah.
today, and I'm gonna just tell you, this is even a habit that I practice. It. Let's say I wrote something last year on April 27th of 2024. I want to go back and see where I was at that time. Where was my mental state when I wrote that? You will be so surprised. So when you journal, you find out things about yourself, about your mindset. your emotions, how you were feeling, what you were thinking. Journaling will uncover patterns in your thoughts and your feelings. It provides valuable insight about yourself.
Oh,
So those
oh,
are
that's
some of the
good.
practices. Those are some of the practices that I use. And I also
You know
tell people,
what?
and I'm sorry because some people don't like writing and journaling.
Hmm.
They don't like
Hmm.
doing. Get a recorder. Like we have
Okay.
recorders on our phone, or just purchase a recorder. Just talk
Okay.
about how you feel. Since you don't want to write it, talk about it on a
Yes.
recorder.
Yes.
Go
You know
back.
what I did one time? You know what I did one time, Heather? I during the time, the first of all, I can definitely tell you all about the journaling. Um I believe that was one of the very first assignments that this young lady, Felicia Michelle Streeter, had me to
Wow.
do, was to journal.
Uh-huh.
Um, but not only that, one thing that I did too, when I found myself going through just kind of a time, I started recording myself. I started doing videos that probably, well, videos that nobody else outside of me will see, because I wanted to capture where I was right at that moment. And I wanted
Absolutely.
to see exactly what it was that I was feeling, what it was that I was expressing. And so of course I know that I will use that information. I'll probably use it in a book a little bit later down the road. But I love that you mentioned journaling first of all. And not just journaling, but recording yourself, because
Yeah,
it's something when you go back through your journals and you go back through your recordings, you're like, man, I was in this space, or this is what I was thinking. And
exactly.
yeah, yeah. So we
Hmm.
have a couple of purpose friends that look like they've popped in. It looks like they may have come over from YouTube. Hello there, Andrea and Renia. They both said,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
thank you for sharing the difference between the two. And thank you for sharing the difference between mental health diagnosis. Purpose friends are always chiming in. And we thank you guys for tuning in here on YouTube. And so let's continue to go in. It looks like Wanda may still be trying to get in. So we'll see if Wanda is able to connect with us. If we are not able to connect, Wanda, I will make sure that you and I connect, and we'll have you come in on another show, because we definitely want to make sure that we talk about financial health, financial
Mhm.
wellness. So also, I want to make sure we shout out one of probably our biggest purpose friend, also known as my mama, Miss Annie Richardson. She says, thank you for sharing, and you are very welcome. And Felicia, you know, mom absolutely adores you. So she's probably super excited that you are on the show. So uh, I'm going to go ahead and throw another question out here. Um, Felicia, as it relates to mental healing and mental health, sometimes, it's kind of uncomfortable for people to just kind of navigate that particular stuff that they're going through. How do you help your clients to distinguish between the discomfort that leads to growth and genuine burnout or overwhelm? How do you help us to distinguish the difference?
I remind them, excuse me, I remind them that there is no growth without discomfort.
Mm,
Absolutely
Mm.
no growth without discomfort. If you on this smooth journey where everything is just flowing and nothing is bothering you, nothing is challenging, you're probably not growing.
Mhm.
So how I help them determine the difference? One thing about me is that I am very transparent. Uh, don't care what people think or say. I am very transparent because I believe that my story or my journey can help someone else on their journey or with their story or with what they're going through. So I will share personal experiences, trauma, heartbreak, anything that I can do to help meet them where they
Mhm.
are so that they feel more comfortable with sharing what they're going through and where they are. So, learning to meet people where they are, sharing experiences and stories with them, and just motivating them to push through the discomfort because at the end of that discomfort, there is a reward.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, because
And I,
sometimes it's you're uncomfortable to the point that you don't you know that it's uncomfortable. So it's good that we're able to recognize that what you said, that hey, in order for us to grow, we're gonna have to be uncomfortable. But
definitely.
how do you help them to distinguish that hey, this is growth discomfort, and this is overwhelmed,
Hmm.
wave the flag, for how are how are they to be able to distinguish, you
The
know
two.
The difference.
They can distinguish that by knowing that
no
in
growth,
there's no growth or rewarded feeling in just the regular uh what word did you use?
like overwhelm.
Being overwhelmed. Being overwhelmed usually comes from putting too much on your plate, being
Mm,
stressed out, being worried about things that you cannot control. So there's no growing in that. Like if you're
yes.
just overwhelmed because you're stressed out or you don't know how to say no or you're putting too much on your plate, there's no growth, no reward, and you can feel the difference because that's a different level of stress when you're overwhelmed. And that's the only thing you get out of it is stress. But when
Hmm.
you're grown, when you are uncomfortable or feeling a level of discomfort because of growth or because you're trying to get to a certain level, there is always a reward behind that. There is absolutely zero reward behind um, just being overwhelmed. No reward at all. And you'll know that's how you know the difference. Because what
Yeah.
am I going to get out of this? What is the end result to this type of stress or discomfort? There's no reward. So if you're telling yourself that there's no reward or there's not going to be a greater outcome, then that's how you determine the difference, and that's how I break it down to them.
Oh, that's so good.
Okay.
And you know what, I'm glad that you said that, especially when you start talking about stress, because I know for a fact I went to a farm, a healing farm, a few
Hmm.
weeks back. And we were talking about, we had a counselor there that talked about heart health, and just kind of breathing. And one of the things that she talked about was stress. Now here it is, all the women that were there, those were my pink sisters. So it's everybody that's kind of overcome, either they're in the middle of their breast cancer journey, they
Hmm.
have they're considered a survivor. So, like myself, I'm a survivor. So right now I am cancer free, praise God. And then you have
God is
right.
amazing. Yeah.
And then you have some of we had some women there that the cancer is just there. It was, just kind of spread, and so we call them thrivers. So we had, all of us that were there, and one of the things that we discussed was stress. And stress, how eliminating stress helps you in your healing process. It helps you physically, because stress itself, having stress can do a whole
Yeah.
lot of damage.
It takes a
Stress can
toll.
do a whole lot of
Hmm.
damage. It can impact your health. And
Yes.
I can tell you there were several of my pink sisters that truly believe that they were at the point of overwhelm so bad, and dealing with stress in their life so bad, they believe that it impacted the healing process
Does.
with dealing with the cancer, and
Yeah.
which is probably one of the main reasons that they're always telling you when you're going through your cancer journey and going through chemo and radiation. They're always telling you be positive, kind of eliminate some of this negative stuff that's going on, reduce stress because it impacts your health. So thank you for mentioning about the stress because that is important. And I'm going to ask real quick. I do see that Wanda is on, but I'm unable to see her picture. I'm going to put her back in the stream. Wanda, I don't know. Wanda, are you able to hear us, or are you able to speak? I still don't hear her here
Yeah,
in
she sent me a
in the
message and she
stream.
said that, yeah, she sent me a message and she said that she signed in on her laptop. And she asked if we can see her, and I told her no, we couldn't
Maybe
see her.
she should try her phone
Okay.
Yeah.
because the laptop may be
Okay.
equipped.
And I do see that our so Wanda, if you could try from your phone, or if you are on your laptop, make sure that you're like on Google Chrome because it will
Yes.
allow you the better access. So we'll try you back and see if you're able to come in. And our purpose friends, of course, my mother, Miss Annie Richardson, she said, "Speak, ladies." Yes, Lord. So I don't know what we were talking about, but she's in the amen corner. And then Lydia, she says, "Hi, Auntie." So she gonna have all of us saying, "Hey, whose niece is Lydia? Who's
I don't know, Lydia. I think my mom is on. Renea, she's on too.
Renee is on?" Okay, well, you
Okay.
know what? I have a whole bunch of nieces, so she could be talking to me.
One of
Hey,
yours?
baby.
Hey, anyway. Hey, anyway.
That's right. Thank you so much again, all of the purpose friends that are joining in on this call. Heather, I want to go back to you for a moment. Um, and I want to ask you this question.
Hmm.
Um, how do you, oh, this is so important because I think we've all been there. How do you guide clients who are experiencing just a spiritual dry season or a crisis of faith? How do you pull them back in?
Okay, so I've been this person. Um, and the first, but you know what? When you say that, the first person that comes to mind is a man in the Bible named Job.
Mm,
So, for those that don't know who Job was, he was a man who lost
mm,
everything. However, he still remained faithful. He still worshiped, but he questioned God's motives at the same time. Like, what is happening?
yes.
So when you begin to lose or you're constantly like going through battles, one thing after another, and then the more you pray, things get worse. you know, it does make you want to say, you know what, forget all of this. I'm tired of praying. I'm tired of having faith. I'm tired of losing. I don't care. Whatever happens, happens. I've been there, you
Mm,
know. But when you begin to lose or you're constantly going through those battles, one thing after another, you have to remember that our faith will be tested. So I will tell them to read the book of Job
mm,
and to remember what he went through and to stay in faith no matter what things look like, no matter what it looks like. Stay in faith. You also have to have, I would also tell them to find, or I believe that every person still need other uh, prayer warriors.
oh,
They
yes.
need other people who will
Definitely.
stand in the gap for them. Okay. Because I do know for a fact that God understands that our spirits, we get tired, we get weary, we constantly coming to Him, and so there are times where you just don't want to say anything. You don't want to pray anymore, but you need strong prayer warriors that will stand in that gap for you.
Yes.
Wow.
So, for instance, too, even when you went on when you stated that you had breast cancer, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
that's a battle.
Yes, yes, girl.
And so I'm sure that when you're going through treatments and this, that, and the other, having to go to the doctor, you're sick this day, you feel better than that. You need people
Yes.
that will stand in the gap for you because you get tired, you're
Yeah.
weak, you know. So that's what me personally, that's what I tell my clients. That's how I guide them. I
Mm-hmm.
would tell him, go to the book of Job. He went through everything, lost family members, everything. But he still remained faithful, even though
Yeah.
he questioned God, but he still remained faithful.
Wow. That is
Hmm.
so on point. And I'm glad that you tell your clients that because you're right. Job lost everything. But you know what I find really interesting about another thing that you said? You spoke about prayer warriors. I call it community, right? I
Yeah.
call it community. There's no way on earth I could have gone through all that I've gone through some without my community
Yes.
of sisters, that people that called me, prayed for
Yes.
me, sent
Yes.
me a love note, that sent me a text. Hey,
Something.
I'm thinking of you. Do you need anything? Somebody
Yes.
that sent me a DoorDash or any
Something to
anything,
keep you
and
encouraged.
and
Yeah.
their prayers, absolutely. But what I found interesting about Job, he went through all of this stuff, right?
Hmm.
Yet the moment that he prayed for his friends, remember there was a moment
Yes.
when he prayed for his friends,
Absolutely.
everything
Change.
turned
Change.
around.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So it is I definitely believe in the power of prayer, period. But
Hmm.
you tied in how you are to pray for others and how others are to pray for
Yes.
you. And so I'm so glad that you give your clients the example of Job, and you've tied in prayer, praying for others.
Yeah.
Wanda, we can see you.
Yay!
Wanda, are you
I
able to
hope we
hear
can hear
us?
her.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
We made it.
and we can hear you. Okay, Wanda, if you would tell my purpose friends who you are, what you do, and what does purpose look like to you?
Um, what I do a lot of stuff. I I I operate my own tax service. I sell life insurance. I also have a non-for-profit where I'm partnered with World Vision, and monthly I get donations and I give out to the community. What I think my purpose is, and what I've been told my purpose is, because people tend to lean on me for a lot. I'm My purpose is to serve people, to
Mm,
help people. Um, so I do
Okay.
a little bit of all of that in everything I do. So
absolutely. Absolutely. And I know that right now it is a particularly just a busy season for you, period, especially when you're navigating the financial space. And I wanted to ask you because I believe in having a healthy financial life. Can you tell me, and this is the question for you, what are some of the biggest mindset shifts people need to make to achieve financial well being?
I think the number one thing that people tend to do, they don't operate on their budget. And
Mm.
being in the tax business, I see a lot of people that come in and they have their taxes done and they don't want to owe the government, but yet and still they don't want to pay the necessary taxes or to understand in order to have us to be at a certain level or to have the certain things that you want, you have to kind of sort of live within your means. And I know a lot of people. I serve a lot of under um, low income people. And when I
Mhm.
say low income, and I have middle class people as well, but a lot of low income people, what I see is that a lot of them live above their means, and then they come in, and then I have to talk to them and try to explain to them and try to help them um, to navigate
Mhm.
to get the best possible refund that they can get, and to explain to them that how if you don't do it up front, you're going to pay on it in the end. You're going to
Mhm.
either pay up front, you're going to pay on the end. But where my expertise come in at, I try to educate my people. So even if they take that route, I
Mhm.
also show them a legal route in which that a lot of our people, black and
Mhm.
brown people, don't
Mhm.
utilize, don't use. It's a lot of things that we do on a daily basis to make ends meet that we don't
Yeah.
understand that could benefit us at the end of the year, when we
Mhm.
do our taxes. So
Mhm.
sometimes, I do a little consulting and explaining that to people, and I have helped a lot of people in that area. Um, so yeah, does that answer your question?
Yes, and you
Okay,
know what? It kinda leads into another question that I have, if
okay,
you don't mind.
go ahead.
So, can you tell me, because I know that you said that you work a lot with our people.
Hmm.
How can, I think a lot of times people, obviously, we don't have a very good relationship with money. We don't. So, how can someone start healing their relationship with money, especially if they've grown up with scarcity?
And oh my God, that's kind of um first we have to get out the mindset of trying to think that more is actually having more, because having appearing to have more doesn't mean that you have more. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
If we get out that mindset of trying to compete or feel like we're better than, or this is what we have to do in order to be accepted, I think we will go a long ways. And what I find
Mm,
in our culture, like, I don't understand how people can go out and pay $100 for shoes, gym shoes. I just don't understand that. I don't
right.
understand how people can pay $300 to get their hair done. I I do my own hair, everything, crochet, I do it myself. It's a lot of things I don't understand, like, as far as, like, I understand now nails, what, $70 or something like that? I'm not quite sure.
Or more
I don't
money.
it's a lot of things that we can do if we just go to the dollar store and we can get the cuticle stuff, and we can soak and file our own nails and things of that nature, and we can pamper ourselves, get back to how we used to be back in, I don't know how old you guys are. I'm Gen X.
I'm
Mhm.
definitely Gen X.
Okay, so back in the day, we did our nails, toes, we did our hands. We pretty much did things for ourselves. And I think if we can get back to that, I think then we can be in a better financial place. But it's kind of hard to get people when they kind of like put value on material things,
Mm,
self-worth on material things.
Yes, that is true.
Mhm.
yeah.
So I try to talk to people. I have a teenage well, I have two teenagers, grandson and granddaughter, 16 and 18, and I talk to them all the time. And I tell them, make your own footsteps. Just because you see people with these things doesn't necessarily mean they can afford these things. I mean, the meal that they eat in school may be the only meal that they eat during the day.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
So,
right.
I try to, explain that to most young people that I come across. Everything that, as my mom used to say, everything that glittering is not gold.
Mhm.
That's
That
right. That's
So
right.
I think if you kind of like keep it real and not set unrealistic unrealistic expectations. I think you can get
Mhm.
more. People can receive you better when you come at them like, okay, because like I don't know if y'all see my jacket or not. Well, I paid $6 for this outfit from Temu. But
Mhm.
when I go
What?
outside, I get so many compliments. People like, "Oh, that is so pretty. That's so things that I wear." And I order that stuff off of Temu.
Mhm.
But who
See?
knows that? Because it's
Right.
how
Nobody
I throw it
knows.
together.
Yeah.
I put my little costume jewelry on. But we've been conditioned to think that if it doesn't have Gucci and Louis, all of them on it, that it's worthless. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
hope I
And
hope
and I
I
like the springy colors too. So
Yes, beautiful.
thank you. Thanks. But yeah, I hope that answered the question a little bit.
yes, it
Okay.
definitely did. And I want to pop back over here to some of our purpose friends. They are chiming in. Uh Lydia says that support goes a long way. And is it Heather, you said your mom's name is Renia?
Renea, yes.
Renea. She said, bless the people with the word, Heather. I know that's right, mama. Uh, Andrea has chimed in and she said that having a sister circle and prayer warriors definitely are needed. Thank all that have praised God in my absence. Yes, when I was not at my best or had the confidence and self discipline to get it done. I know that's right. And Catherine Thompson, she says, you said it, too many view their self worth through material things. Many don't look at a budget. I call it the B word. Many don't look at a budget as a real thing or even know the basics regarding how much you have to make to afford $500 outfits. Right, right. And she also says that sacrificing the small things for the bigger goal. Yes, my Wanda, I agree. So thank you all for chiming in. We greatly appreciate it. Felicia, I'm going to circle back over here to you for a moment. And I'm going to ask you, and I mentioned this earlier about the word community. But I want to ask you, what role do you believe community plays in maintaining good mental health?
Love. Love is always the number one thing,
Mhm.
the top thing that we need in the world. And we heard the song and the cliche, what the world needs is love. I wish I can sing. But uh, love is top number one. Well-being checks is number two.
Mm.
You guys talked about that sister circle, the prayers. And Heather knows, baby, I am the prayer queen. I'm telling you, I pray so much, I think I've turned Muslim without even accepting it. I would text Heather and be like, hey, sis, I need you. Pray for this person, pray for that person, pray for this
Yes,
person.
she does.
We, girl, I need prayer. Love, prayer, well-being checks is definitely the way to help with mental health within a community. And people think I'm weird, and I'm okay with that, because as anybody know who knows me, I don't care what people think. Never have, never will.
Mm-mm.
I am like the stranger connector. I connect with people who I've never met or seen in my life. These people come walk next to me. They tell me their whole life story. I am the hugger. I believe in exchanging of spirits. That's why I pray for my spirit before I leave out my house, because I am a hugger, baby. I will hug Satan and hug all the evil right up out of him, because with God be uh definitely love overpowers hate and good overpowers evil. I am a hugger.
Right.
I believe in community wellness, and the way I do that is I feed into people all the time. Like I say, I'll pray for you, I'll hug you, I'll have that talk with you where you can express yourself and you can feel comfortable, because I have learned, and it was not easy, I'm like, now you know that's stupid. But I have learned to meet people where they are, and that's what people need, to be met where they are. So to
Mhm.
help heal the community or to help people in the community in that way, it definitely starts with love. Because if you notice, you can be around the meanest, most hateful person ever, but if you outpour that love on them, it melts them. It melts away all the hate, all the
Yeah.
evil, all the anger, because they cannot take it. Love definitely, definitely overpowers hate. It does, and I've seen it, I've experienced it, and that is the way to help heal the community or help people with their mental health, by loving on them, supporting them. And like you said, Juva, people don't know what your mental state is. And if you get a phone call or a text message or a love
Hmm.
or a prayer, or somebody sends you flowers or food, you might just save somebody from suicide. I'm telling you, I've seen it
Yes.
with my own eyes, how that love and that interceding, when you intercede for people, you are saving lives without even knowing it. So yeah, I'm all for the community, baby. And I will hug the hell out of you. Literally.
Literally. I love it.
Literally.
I love it. I love how all of these spaces they kind of connect. And
They
Heather,
do.
that reminds me. I want to ask you this because I think this is important because to me it ties in with another aspect of all of us here. Um, could you tell me, do you believe that spiritual health can impact financial or career success? And if so, how?
Yes, I do believe that spiritual health can definitely impact our financial or career success in powerful ways. So, when someone is spiritually healthy, they have a clear sense of purpose or more of a clear conscience. They have more, I would say, inner peace and alignment with their values.
Mhm.
That can lead to them making better decisions. Um, it can increase their motivation and focus,
Mm,
as well as it can improve their relationships. But I also believe that that's the positive side. But I also think that there is a negative side as well. When you're not in alignment, you won't be successful. Like you have to be
mm,
in alignment, and you have to be um, within God's will. We do a lot of things. I might
okay.
be kind of straying off a
Mhm.
little bit, but still, like our purpose,
Go
and
ahead.
if we're like say if we're not fulfilling our purpose, um, you may see that you
Mhm.
may have more of a struggle with finances and with career because He
Mhm.
may be calling you
Mhm.
to do one thing, but we're too busy straying away and doing something else. But when you're in alignment, um,
Lord.
with God, as far as what your purpose is, that's where finances come. That's where career success come.
Okay.
When you're hearing Him, when He's directing you, He's telling you what to do. When you're in alignment with His will. So
Mhm.
that's
Surrender.
where. But so that's why I think we have to just be in alignment with His will in order to have financial or career success. If we're not, then that path is going to always be kind of rough, for
Right.
us, and we won't see um his rewards, I should say.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. That's really good. And I love that. I love the way that you put that. Absolutely. As we kind of wrap this up, I can't believe it's been almost an hour already, but it's
Really.
been almost an hour, right? I feel like we could go another hour real easy.
Absolutely.
But let me ask you this. Can you share, and this is for all of you or either of you, could you share a time that in your own personal life, the service that you are providing to others, was there ever a time where you realized that you needed this yourself? How did
Mm,
you overcome that? How did you get to where you are, whereas you are now pouring into others? But at what point in time did you have someone to pour into you? Just briefly, do you have your backstory as to why it is that you do what you do, because you overcame a particular challenge spiritually, mentally, financially, physical health?
mhm.
And we'll just start here. We'll actually start with you, Heather. We'll go to you, Wanda. We'll wrap up with you, Felicia.
Okay, so I am a go-to person, and sometimes I and then but I become very sacred, very private, because I have a lot of people who come to me. Those
Yes.
very same people, sometimes I can't go to them to discuss what I need. I
Mm,
was kind of getting ready to piggyback off of something that Felicia said. I think it's very important that when you contact a person, I think that the first thing you should ask them is, how are you doing? But sometimes I have people, they're so used to me pouring that
mm,
they don't think about how I'm doing. And it
mm,
may be times where I'm telling you, I've had some heavy things going on,
right.
you know, but on the outside, I look like I'm okay. We can't judge what's
Mm.
going on externally. So that's why it's good to ask a person, how are you first? Or do you have room to hear
Oh, that's
what
good.
I need to talk to you about? Um, so sometimes I would feel rejected. I would feel alone. It will put me into this place, of depression, feel secluded. But then I can also hear God saying, just come to me.
Hmm.
So I would just go to him, because who am I going to discuss this with? And then sometimes those very same people, they just take your that information and turn it into what they want to turn it to. Call this relative, that friend. Oh, she said, so I have to be kind of private with who I discuss things with.
Mm.
You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And I use those testimonies, like what I go through. I use some of those. You can't tell everybody a testimony. Some testimonies are meant to be shared with certain people for a certain time.
Exactly. I
Yeah,
had to learn that. That's good.
yeah.
That's
Hmm.
good. What about you, Wanda?
Okay, for me, I've always been like Heather said, the person that I am the person that everybody
Hmm.
comes through to, no matter what it is. It could be, believe it or not, it could be medical, legal,
You're
real
right.
estate, taxes, just everything. Everything. It's like everybody think I knows everything. But it is because I was the only girl of five boys, right? So
Oh.
my mother made sure that I had a certain set of skills, right? So all that I didn't have, I didn't know, I learned on my own. I researched on my own,
Mm,
right? So I would say one of the biggest things that helped me, and I didn't realize that I really needed the help. I knew that I was a little high head sometimes, but I did CBT. If you guys know what that is. I facilitated it for violent offenders and perpetrators of gun violence for the
Okay.
Ready
okay.
Chicago Ready program, and I did my group, and so we did what you call a behavior, this thing going off for the event, and the event is over. But
Mm,
um, we will do what you will call a behavior chain, because it's control, alt, and delete old behaviors, right? How to control it,
mm,
alt and delete it, right?
Mm,
Out your head.
mm-hmm.
So in my group, because I believe that in order to be a success, you cannot look down on the people that need your help, right?
Oh,
So
that's good.
one of you guys mentioned, you have to meet them where they are, right? And so that was one of my things, right, with working with the guys, and these guys from 18 to 50, believe it or not,
Mhm.
because people in and out of jail, right? Um, Instead of me just being the forefront looking down on them like I have no problems, I had no problems, I would have my guys to give me a subject to talk about and how I would have handled it, because you have to weigh out the pros, the cons, you know, um, how you behave and how you will act after the fact, right? So the after effect is what you would change to
Mm-hmm.
get a better outcome. And so I would let them give me an example as well, right? And I would work through that. And then I realized, I have some little anger issues there,
Ah.
and working through that stuff caused me to stop sometimes. Now I still use it now. Like sometimes before I act, I was like, okay, let me step back for a minute, before, because I'm a height. And it helped me. That particular thing helped me, working with those guys. I worked with men and it helped me as well as a female. It helped me understand the things that we also put men through, right? And believe it or not, we
Mm-hmm.
have so many emotionally damaged men and from the hands of women,
Right.
whether it's their mother, whatever. So that was one of the things. But as far as me, I have one friend that I could talk to about everything and anything who I know she doesn't pass judgment. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because I can be a little
Yeah.
outspoken too. I'm a long-winded too, so I know we don't supposed to have a couple minutes. It's kind of hard for me to stay under a couple minutes, but
Yeah, right,
it's
you
just one
let us
person.
come back. We got too much to say, girl.
What you say now,
I say that's why
Felicia?
Yes.
let's come back because we got too much to say, honey.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was like, man, I want to come back and I want to do this again. And next time I'm going to have my computer lined up correctly. But yeah, so pretty much, yeah, I'm the go-to person for even that friend that I can talk to about anything and I can cry and just really just let myself go because everybody think I'm strong for some reason. Like, oh, you're so strong. You're so strong. No, 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 no. I'm not
Oh
strong.
girl.
I'm not strong. Don't give me that title. I don't want that title because when you're deemed that strong, right? People don't think you cry.
Yeah. People don't think you
Baby.
trust me, I
Well,
Right.
know too
Right.
well.
like have you thought about that? I'm strong because if I break down, then who you gonna have? I'm not strong. I just cry in the
Mm.
dark.
Ooh, that's good.
So I
Wow.
hope was
That's
that
good. That's good,
okay,
Wanda.
Felicia?
Wow. Oh, Felicia, let's bring it home. Put me in, coach. Go ahead.
So here we go. Uh, Anytime we're talking about mental health, I have to refrain from going hard, from talking about every spectrum of mental health. So I made to try to keep myself in check, and it's still hard. So let me see if I can do this in 2 or 3 minutes. Number one, number one, how I manage my own mental health and what brought me into this coaching thing with being focused on mental health. I have been a life coach my whole life. As many times as I asked God to show me what my purpose is, He showed me time and time and time again through people. And if you ever read my book, you will see that I've always wanted to be in a career field that directly help people and
Mhm.
in a transformational way. I've always wanted to help people. I wanted to be a family. I always think family is so important, and my family can tell you that, baby. I goes hard for mine. I'm always
That's right.
meetings. I'm always having family picnics, family outings. Family is very, very important to me and the cornerstone of everything. So I said all that to say, I have always been approached as the therapist. Everybody I've ever worked with, encountered,
Mhm.
anything that has something to do with it, they always talk to me as if I was their therapist. Even when I was 18, 19, 20 years old, fresh out of high school, I have always gotten this title of you my therapist and you counselor and you always know the right things to say. So I took it and ran with it. Like I got tired of trying to figure out, oh, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? So God spoke to me. The Holy Spirit spoke to me and say, baby, we finna do this and we gonna do this together. So
Mm.
I manage my own mental health by learning what other people go through and how I help them. So I help other people. I help myself the same way I help other people. Because if it'll work
Mhm.
for them, it'll work for me. We're all human.
That's
Another
right.
protect my mental health and how I knew what my purpose was is because I just love people, especially black people. Anybody who know me know, baby, I am pro black and I go
That's
hard.
right.
I love me some black people, and we need each other more than we can ever imagine. We need each other.
Yes.
So pushed me into the whole mental health thing was, I think I said this in the beginning, was the anxiety that I went through. I went through an extreme case of anxiety that almost took me out. Do you understand me? And I used to make fun of
Yes.
my brother. His anxiety is so bad, he can't even stay home by himself a lot of times. And I used to be like, boy, you too grown for that. You too grown for that. But baby, God will shut your mouth and bring you to your knees. Because when I tell you anxiety tried to take me out, baby, it
Hmm.
take me out. So I used my pain, my suffering, what I went through to help other people. And I brought myself back to normality and into mental health without medication. And do you know how hard that is to bring
Wow.
yourself back to reality, back to mental health without medication? It is a very hard thing to do. But God gave me the strength, the tools, and the resources to do so. And I use those same strengths, tools, and resources to do it with other people. Now, when I know for a fact people need medication, I don't steer them away from it. Look, honey, you need to go get some medication. Do not use it as a life altering resource. Use it to get yourself back mentally stable and then try the whole holistic thing. This is what I do. These are the three top things that help me stay mentally healthy. And then I'm going to close out. Juva, you better invite us back.
I am.
But these three things that I use. I learned how to say no without explaining myself. I
Yes.
boundaries, baby. And when I tell you I have boundaries where I will shut down, do you understand me? I don't answer my phone. I don't watch TV. I don't want to go out on a date. As much as I love to eat, baby, and mingle, I shut down. I have real boundaries and I don't care how people feel about them. When I say no, I mean no. And I know I'm not answering my phone for you. Right now, I'll pray for you in the midst of what I'm doing, but I can't do it right now. Because if
That's
my
right.
I cannot fill nobody else's cup up. Self-care and prayer goes hand in hand. Do you understand me? I am a prayer warrior. It keeps me sane. I need it every freaking day of my life like we need water. I need prayer and self-care. I'm telling you, when I tell you, I'll call about 20 friends and be like, hey y'all, on Saturday, we going to get a massage. On Saturday, we're about to go out to eat. On Saturday, we're gonna do this. On Sunday, we're going on a healing picnic. And that was the whole purpose. And Heather, I am so glad you spoke about journaling. That was the whole purpose of my healing journal. I have a Black Girl Healing Journal specifically for Black women. Now, it is only a special edition because people tell me all the time, like my marketing strategist told me, Felicia, you can't make money just focusing on Black people. Girl, leave me alone. I do all Black people. At some point, we have favoritism, nepotism, and love more than we give it to other people. So the first edition of my journal is specifically for healing and for Black women. I reach for them other women later. People been reaching for them all day life, baby. I'm reaching for mine. Do you hear me? I am reaching for
Thank
mine.
you.
And
Thank
the
you.
last thing helps me. because journaling really does help. That's another thing that helped me through my anxiety. And y'all, please forgive me. Last but not least, tequila is what helps me with my mental health. Hey, don't judge.
Oh my goodness.
We listen and we don't judge. Tequila.
Mm-hmm.
We listen and we don't judge. Oh my goodness. Ladies, 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 ladies. I don't know exactly when, but since you have already given me your yes, at some point in time within this season, I'd like to have you all to come back in and we have another sit down, another purposeful conversation. I thank you, each and every one of you. Real quick, tell the people how they can connect with you, connect with your business, and tell us if you have anything going on. Felicia, I know you already mentioned that you have a new journal out. What do you have going on? What's next? How can we connect with you? We'll start with
Uh,
you, Felicia. We'll go to Wanda. We'll tie it up with Heather. Felicia.
okay, the best way to connect with me is through social media. My name is actually what it is. Felicia Michelle Streeter. You can find me on any stream, LinkedIn, YouTube, uh, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Everything is up under my name or More Than a Mentor, which is my business name. Mentoring to Society is my email address. You can connect with me that way. I can let you know all the fabulous things I have going on. I do have in Juva. I'm gonna get you out of North Carolina, girl. You're gonna come to Chicago and join some of the stuff we got going on. But
I'm
what I
ready. Put me in, coach. Put me
you know,
in.
girl, you definitely in. I just had a women's event called Sis It's Time, and it was all about healing. So once the Black Girl Healing Journal, enough people have it, I am going to have an unwind, and it's gonna be spelled UNWINE, and we are going to unwind
Oh,
and have a healing session. Definitely wine
there.
is going to
Yes.
and we're going to have a healing session. So follow me on YouTube. I am on a mission to heal and sell 1 million copies of the Black Girl Healing Journal. So follow me on social media for more.
Thank you.
Me?
Heather or
Okay.
Wanda.
Okay, well, if people want to reach me, my business name, I mean, you can Google Wanda Evans, exactly how it's spelled, WONDAEVANS, and you will find me. You will find my phone number. My tax business is H&E Express Refund Services. If they can remember that. Next phrase, signing agent, because I'm a notary as well. If you're interested in selling life insurance, I can help you with that. If you're interested in purchasing life insurance, I can help you with that as well. And everything can be found by mainly my name, WONDA, because everybody spell Wanda with an A. But mine's spelled with an O, WONDA Evans. Facebook, I have like 20 pages. Back in the day, Mark used to block you up all the time. But my birthday
Yes.
month is January Evans. So you can find me on Facebook, January Evans. My maiden name, Wanda Harris. I don't have a page with Wanda Evans. I have a page with Faye Harris. But yeah, so I can be found there. I do have a
Okay.
YouTube, but I'm not sure what it is. It may be my name, Wanda Evans.
We may have to Google you, baby.
Yeah.
But we got you. And if you ladies would, when you have a moment, you go back to the YouTube show, go ahead and plug it in the show notes because people will come back and they'll look. And so just plug in your information there too. I greatly appreciate that. And
Okay.
Heather, let's wrap it up with you. How we connect with you. Can't hear you, Heather.
I thought
Heather,
that was
wait a
me.
minute. Heather,
Okay.
you're muted.
Okay.
Okay, now
I'm
now
Heather. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, so on Facebook, I am Heather Nicole Webb. I love Facebook. I'm on there. I'm also having a lot of fun with TikTok lately. I am on there as Life Coach Heather Nicole. Um, Also, my website. Well, because I'm rebuilding my website, but it'll be Transparent Consulting LLC com. So those are three ways that you can reach me. So far I am well, I've been being booked for like being an MC, different things like that. I'm working on an ebook about the 8 prayer watches. That's something real big that I have coming up and that's something maybe me and you, Juva, we can talk about on your
yes.
platform. But the 8 prayer watches, I'm trying to be very careful with what I deliver. Um, to
Mm,
the world, so it takes time. You have to be careful with how you lead and how you're leading people. So that takes a lot of time. So I'm working on that right now. So hopefully that's soon to come as well.
awesome. Awesome. And again, thank each and every one of you. Felicia, thank you for rounding up the coaches for me, and blessing the purpose conversation on the kickoff of fourth season. Thank you to all of my purpose friends, the brand new ones and the ones that have come back. And for everybody that's catching this on replay, thank you for checking in. And this season is going to be hot, 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 hot. You're going to see some familiar faces, blasts from the past, such as Felicia. You're going to see a few more that we have had on the shows in previous seasons, just to kind of do little updates and see different things that we have going on. But I thank each and every one of you for coming on to the Purpose Conversation and checking us out tonight. And as always, I'm going to leave you with I encourage you to please continue to seek, to discover, and to pursue your purpose on purpose. You've just watched the Purpose Conversation. Have a good night, y'all. Good night.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.